Okay, good morning, dear participants. We have arrived on the last day of this faculty development program, and today we have three more sessions lined up. The first one will be by Ms. Swati Tripathi from Art of Living. She'll be talking on how to develop a clutter-free mind. Second session, we have from a fitness expert who is Mr. Bhaskar Kaushik, and he will be talking on how to maintain health and fitness through daily exercise and workouts. And in the third session, we will be having another counselor and psychologist, Ms. Chandana Puya, who will be speaking on attitudinal shift. So these are the last three sessions of this faculty development program on effectiveness, organizing self, attitudinal shift, and decision making. So our resource person for today, the first session, has already joined in. She has been with us for the past 2 days, taking the morning sessions. Ms. Swati Tripathi, I welcome you once again to this final session of yours in this faculty development program.
Thank you, Aradhana ma'am.
So to all the participants, Ms. Swati Tripathi, as you all have met her in the past two sessions, she is a faculty in Art of Living Foundation, and she is a certified yoga teacher. She shares her knowledge on how to develop and improve life through yoga and meditation. So today, in yet another session, we will experience and we will try to gain from her teachings, particularly on how to declutter our mind today through meditation and yoga. So I take this opportunity to welcome Ms. Swati Tripathi, and without any further delay, I would like to hand over the session to our resource person so that she can carry forward with her talk. Ms. Swati Tripathi, please take over.
Thank you once again.
Thank
Very
you.
good morning to you all. How are you all doing? Many of us, we haven't been able to see each other. It's the last day, so if you wish to, you can turn on the videos.
Yes, few participants, if you can turn on the videos, that will also be very interactive, I think, as our expert has requested. You can switch on your video and go for some interaction if you are okay with that.
So, hope you all have enjoyed all the sessions. Many speakers have come. I'm sure you have learned a lot from all of them, and you are equally excited for the last day today. So, it is going to be, all this has been a transformation, not just for the people who are listening, but we as speakers also, I think we are gaining a lot from sharing what we are aware of. So, how are you feeling on the last day? Are you looking forward to the session? Yes, you can just show the sign. Okay. All right. So, are you all prepared? Ready? Okay. So, we have two, three people who represent every day for everybody. Very good. Thank you for doing that. All right. So, have you had days when your mind is totally bombarded with too many different thoughts and you have a decision to make? You are totally confused on those days and you have to make a decision. Have you had days when you just mind is like bombarded with choices, but there is an important decision to make? Have you had such a day? If you had, then we are probably at the right place to talk about it. Yes? So I had many such experiences where there is an important decision to be made and the mind is just not ready. because we have so many different ideas, different concepts, different confusions in our mind. Which one to pick up so that I can reach my goal? Yeah. So has this happened ever? You can say yes, no, never. It has always been clear. Sometimes. Yeah. So we are making decisions every single day. Are you aware about that? Every single day, we are deciding something. Right from the time you wake up, isn't it? You turn off the alarm or you go by the alarm because you decided to wake up at that time. You could have decided to stay on the bed for some more time. That is one decision you made. Probably you made the next decision, what to eat for breakfast, what to cook for breakfast for me and my family. That's another decision you made. What time should I start so that I can reach the destination where I have to go for my work at the right time? So every single day we are making hundreds of decisions. Maybe it is just happening, we aren't aware, but these are decisions we are making. What are those decisions? Decisions about different choices that we have, decisions about reaching to a conclusion. You were settling some matter and you have to conclude something, you have to reach to that conclusion for a particular matter. That is another decision you are taking. Or you have to find a resolution for a certain topic, for a certain subject. You are finding the resolution, so that is another decision you are making. And most importantly, you're making the decisions between two choices or some action that you have to take. So the problem here is that we have too many choices. Have you observed that? Just think about your everyday life, or from simple matters to complicated matters. Like, you go to the storeroom to buy a shampoo, how many different kinds of choices do you have? Have you observed that? We go to buy certain thing, but you see 100 other things. The shampoo is available. You wanted to buy one shampoo, but you went and you saw 100 other choices of shampoos. Then did your mind get confused? Should I take this? This looks little better. This will give me more shinier hair, or that will give me more thicker texture of hair. Choices in shampoo. Okay. So there are several other things where we make choices. Why? Because these days we are bombarded with choices. Okay, if not shampoo, remember your days when you are in a restaurant looking at the menu. I'm sure most of us have this experience. You're looking at the menu of you are in your favorite restaurant, or maybe a new restaurant, let me say, because you don't know about the menu. So you look at those food. What should I order? Should I order this, or that? Yeah. You make different, because there are so many options available to you. Your mind gets stuck to that and you're not able to decide which is good for me, which is the best for me. And another funny thing, have you observed about it? After you make a decision, somebody else's food arrives next to your table that looks much better than what you ordered. Have you observed that? Does that happen? Yes, it happens with most of us, where you make a decision, but after you take that decision, somebody else's choice, seems more lucrative, more attractive. And suddenly we get upset. Oh, I should have ordered that. Why did I order this? Next time I'll order that. So this is the tendency of our mind. This is how our mind works. And we will be able to enjoy this process if we are aware about it. If we are lost into it, then it is no longer an enjoyment. It is a struggle. It is a daily fight with our own mind. Yeah? Okay. So the first thing that we know about decision, be aware that decision is between many choices that you have. The choices is not between good and bad. The choices is always between good and better. See, if you are thirsty, somebody offers you sand and somebody offers you water. Do you have a choice to make? Is your mind confused? What should I take? It is, what would you take? Let me ask you this question. Sand is offered and water is offered. Water, right? Is that a difficult choice to make? No, because it is between the obvious bad and the obvious good. That time there is no difficulty. There is a difficulty when you have to make a choice between water and somebody offers you fruit juice. That time you make a choice, right? Or somebody offers you pizza and samosa. So then you have to make a choice. Have you observed it? Because it is between the good and the better. So a choice, remember this, that a choice is never between good and bad. It is always between good and better. So this calms down our mind, both. Yes. So when we know our choices that we are making, whether should I, when you are in, if you have crossed the career phase, then you will be advising somebody for career. People come to you to ask, should I take this stream or should I take that stream? Should I study that subject or should I study this? See, nobody will ask, should I study, should I go to my primary class or should I move ahead? That is between obvious bad and obvious good, right? But there is a choice that we have to make when it is between good and better. Then, second awareness that we have to bring is that sticking to the decision. Once you have taken up something, stick to that decision. What is the fear that we have? When we take certain decision in our life, okay, you chose something. Every day you choose something, you choose that today I will go by cab, I will not go by walking. You made that decision. Then on the way, if you found traffic, then we start thinking, our mind rewinds back and tells that, why did I make this decision? So can you stick to the decision what you made? See, be that strength within to bear the consequences of a decision is very important. At least for a considerable time, stick to the decision whatever you made. See, first thing you remember, it was not between bad and good. So you are not taking a bad choice. First of all, you are clear there. It was definitely not a bad choice. Yes, better and good is there, but it was not a bad choice. So you are comforted with yourself that it is definitely not a bad choice. That's first thing. Second, sticking to the decision that you made. Whatever you opted in your life today, whatever we are, I didn't choose medical, so I have not become a doctor. No, I chose to study human resources, so I am an HR professional today. That's one choice that I made, right? Sticking to the decision that you made for at least for a considerable period of time. Okay, that is very important. Otherwise, the mind is just not being able to stay wherever it is. It will always start complaining and thinking that my life is less better than the others. No, always we are in a state of comparison. Then it doesn't give us peace of mind. Because first of all, you must remember that we never made a bad choice. Yeah. Then is, suppose you have, you really are not able to decide something. It is important that you go up to someone whom you trust. It could be your guru, it could be your teacher, it could be your someone dear in the family whom you want to listen to, or somebody else whom you always have that faith and trust that this person is going to give me the right advice. So share, express that you have this confusion and can you help me? That step is also very important. Otherwise, what happens? We keep reeling in our mind within ourselves. Yeah. So take that step as well, where you take advice from somebody whom you trust. Okay. After you have taken the decision, you spoke to somebody, have faith. See, there is no decision in this universe where someone has to ask anybody, ask anyone whether they were fully sure that this is going to, you know, strike their luck. Okay, this is really going to be in their favor. Were they 101% sure? I don't think many of them will say yes. There is no way you can tell that 100% sure, I whatever I decide through this, the goal that I have, that is, I'm going to absolutely get that. No way. There's no way possible where you can absolutely say, because there are always many other factors that is not quite visible, but it is working in the background. Okay. So have the faith on the unseen, that whatever choices you are making, there is an unseen force which is working in your favor, which will help you move through that time in your life, move through the chaos in your life. Without faith, we cannot move even an inch. Have you observed that? Can you make a move if you don't have faith on a power which is higher? Can you move forward in life if you don't have the faith on a higher power? I don't think so. We can make even one move if we don't have faith. Shraddha, that is called the Shraddha. Shraddha is a virtue. The faith is a virtue which we need to cultivate more and more in us. You know, as a child has total faith. Have you seen a child who is worried about whether I will get my dinner or not today? Do children, when they come, I'm sure you must be having them in your home or you have seen them nearby. If they come back from school, how happily they come. Do they worry or do they have the lack of faith that I will not be served food? No, they have faith. Every child has complete faith that they will be taken care of. As we grew up, we thought we are very independent. We are in some terms, but in a larger term, we are also dependent on a higher power. That power is very intelligent to support you, to help you through all the chaos in your life. It is there with you. Even if something bad has happened due to a decision, something, not, I should not say bad, but something unfavorable maybe has happened due to a decision that you had taken, still you are going to learn from that. That is also not going to be of waste. Anything that is happening, you are going to learn. There is definitely some learning going to happen. Yeah, every failure that we have in our life, it's not about cursing out the decisions that we made. It is about what we have learned from this event in our life, so that the next time we do it, we know how not to do it. Isn't it? You look back at all the inventions that have been from centuries old, all the researchers and inventions that have taken place after multiple failures, they have strike that or hit that right place where it became as eureka, bingo, I got there. Yeah. So failures will come. It is not something to keep our mind grinding. Oh, what did I do? Why did I take that decision? I should have listened to that person. That person took a better decision. Then we are stuck. We are not able to move forward in our life. So we must be aware about this, because we are taking decisions every single day in our life, at your workplace, in your home, in your family, in your entire life. You have been taking choices. Because of that, we are here. You took a choice to enroll, register for this program, so you are here. Again, you are going to take a choice for something else. So there is going to be a ocean of choices that you have to make. How do we ensure that we are making a good decision is now something very vital to know. Yeah. So before we come to how do we take that good decision is we will quickly just recap what we said. Okay. There are two things. Yes, Anilji, will come to that. Huh? Okay. One is the extrinsic factor which influences our decision. One is the intrinsic factor which influences our decision. What are the extrinsic factors? Something external. What are those which influences our decision? You know, when there is a bad decision making or we are grinding in our head what to do, which one to take, which route to take. Yeah. What is that? Extrinsic factors are when there is lack of information or when there is too much of information available. Then you have a problem, isn't it? When there is lack of certain required information or there is too much of information available about a certain topic, then is the time that we find difficult to decide. That is the first thing. Second, when we have to make choices between similar things. Yeah, whether I should teach fluids today or whether I should teach thermodynamics today. Both are important because both have to be taught within a certain period of time. Yeah, but I have to make between similar choices. They both are important topics. Both have to be finished by a certain period of time. There's some target to be achieved. Both are important, but then I have to decide which one to take first. Yeah. So because there are similar choices. So second is that. Third, when there are too many choices. For example, you are booking a flight. Have you seen, or I'm sure many of you would have had this experience. You waited, okay, there are so many options. You waited. Should I wait when the prices decrease? And you waited, gone. The flight tickets are gone. After that, you could not book. Yeah. So too many choices and lack of timeliness due to procrastination. I'll not do it today. Maybe tomorrow is a good time to decide. No, var dekh ke, which day is good, which time is good. Okay, then I will decide. And not today. Maybe, okay, then tomorrow comes. Maybe let me just postpone it. Maybe Monday will be the right time. I'll be very fresh in my mind after the weekend. Yeah, I have had enough rest. So then I will decide. Okay, so Muhurat. Correct. So what did we do? Procrastination. In all of this, we have failed to make the right decision. So what will ensure that we are taking the right decision? There is one secret, and that works wonders. Before I talk about the other things, one thing that I would want to mention to you all is that there is one very, very important aspect gifted to us. It is not that somebody else is gifted more than what we are. We all have been gifted with that. It is our intuition. Wow, Anilji, very good. Very good. Intuition. What is intuition? Anybody can share what is intuition? So intuition is our gut feeling, the hunch that we have. I'm sure this is not new. It is not a concept that we are talking new. I'm sure all of you had this one or the other day in your life. That is your intuition, your gut feeling that told you to do this. One day it may have happened that you just prepared extra food. You felt like I should prepare extra food. And that day some visitor arrives your home. And you have this gut feeling that somebody may come. So let me prepare something more. Yeah. Just an example. But there are many, many other gut feeling that you may have had in your life. I should right now, I should take this question. I think tomorrow, okay, tomorrow for students, it is very, very, something they can relate to, that in exam, tomorrow is exam. if the intuition has worked, there's no time for intuition, they will suddenly know, okay, this is the question that I need to focus on. This question, I think it is going to come. It is that gut within you that is telling you, read this question. There is high chances of this coming in exam. So they read it, and definitely they get that question the next day. So then they know that the intuition has worked right. Has this happened? In many different scenarios, it may have happened. Some gut told you that this is going to happen. That is our intuition. That is the right decision that helps us take the right decision in our life. And there is no time for it. It is beyond reason. There's no reason why you choose to do that. Randomly, somebody may want to do that. Why? Because it is their intuition. There's no logic. There's no logical explanation to that. But that is their intuition, which told them, just go for it. Do it. It will be good. It will be okay. Go for it. We all need to develop the intuitive capability in us. As a child, the intuitive ability is very sharp in us. But as we have gained many experiences, we went through events after events after events. We have faced failures, we have faced success in our life, we have faced appreciation, we have had days when we were insulted. So there are so many impressions that we are caught up with as adults, where our intuitive capability has become dormant. And we don't want that to happen. That is why we are here talking about it, because it is we who have the power to develop the intuitive ability, the intuition, the gut feeling, the hunch that we have. We are gifted with that. Who doesn't want a smooth life? Tell me. You want your decisions to be right. You want that to be right. Yeah. You want that to give you good, favorable benefits. So intuition has to be developed. The other aspects, we'll come to intuition, how to develop that. The other aspects is be aware. Tips. These are tips. Okay. Tips for making a good decision. Be aware. What is the awareness that you have to bring? See, when your mind is in a turmoil, should I do this? Should I not do this? Whole night you have kept thinking. You are lost. You are in that ocean of emotions, lost, and you don't know what was the goal that you had to achieve. We become lost with too many thoughts and confusions in our mind. So when you are aware that this is just the nature of the mind, it is dragging me somewhere, but I'll not let that happen. I'll come back to my center, be composed, be poised, then it is going to help me. So first thing is, be aware of these tendencies in the mind. Do not get lost in that thoughts, lost in the choices. No, be aware. What had you come for? What was the decision that you were trying to make? What is the goal that you are trying to achieve? What are you ready to face? What are you not ready to face? So these things, be aware, come back to the center, come back to your source. That is the first tip, be aware. Second is, bring clarity in the mind. Yes? Past, future. If the mind is caught up reeling between that, then bring it back. Just meditate. All these 3 days that we have been doing, it is going to bring utmost clarity in the mind. Breathing, pranayama, meditation, couple of minutes. We need not invest too much time. Yeah, just few minutes, it will bring such clarity in the mind. You will be able to be, crystal clear. You will be able to see crystal clear, what did I want? Let me go for it. Otherwise, when have you seen a slate board? Let me give you an example of a slate board. Yeah, we write on chalk, or you write it on the blackboard, you put a marker. If you don't have an eraser, you don't have the duster, or you don't have the eraser, you keep on writing, your blackboard, where maybe as faculties you are using that. or previously we used to use that, not in the online format. Yeah, we used to write something on the board. Okay, one day you came and wrote, you didn't erase it. Come again, write it. Third day, come again, write it. Fourth day, come again, write it. Will you be able to understand, or the students be able to understand what is there up on the board? No. Why? What did we do? We have cluttered it. Like that is our mind. It is just like that, that our mind, if we don't erase what is already here, nothing is going to make sense. So, the second tip is bring clarity in the mind. Third is have the self confidence. Yeah, self confidence is what? It is okay, I will bear the consequences of whatever is going to happen. So, okay, I have the strength in me. Whatever will happen, I will go through it. Let me see what happens. I have the strength and the ability to face it. Okay. Yeah. So this is the certain tips, that along with the first and foremost, most important, what we learned is developing the intuitive ability in us. Also, there are certain intrinsic factors which doesn't make us take a right decision in our life. Are you aware about it? What is that? Two things. Either we are greedy or we have a desire to achieve something. That desire is not just plain desire, it is making you feverish. It is totally taking away the peace of your mind. Suppose you have an investment to make, yeah, and you're making a decision, should I make this investment or should I make that investment? If it is too feverish, if the mind has become too feverish due to the desire, where will I get the best outcome? At this year, where will I get the most returns? Then that I should take. Okay, but that decision never arrived because you have started thinking and thinking and thinking. In the process, we became greedy, or we have attached too much of desire or feverishness to that. That will not allow us to take a good decision. And the second is the fear. If we have fear of losing something, then also it is not going to take us the good decision in our life. Yeah, so we all got that. So two intrinsic factors. One is the desire or feverishness or the greed, and the second is the fear that we have. These are the emotions within us that doesn't allow us to take a right decision. What are the extrinsic factors? When we have too many choices available and choices to make between similar things, right? And what else? When there is too much of information or too less information, and lack of timeliness due to procrastination. These are the extrinsic factors that doesn't allow us to take a good decision. But now we are aware that to take a good decision, what we can do is we can be more aware, we can bring clarity in our mind, we can bring self-confidence in us that whatever will happen, I will face it. Fourth most important factor is that I will develop the intuitive ability in me, which is gifted already. It is there. No matter it is dormant, but it will spring up if I just pay attention to certain things. So intuition can be developed two ways. One, you all know about it, breathing techniques, pranayama, meditation, Sudarshan Kriya. Yesterday we touched a little bit about Sudarshan Kriya. That is the rhythmic breathing pattern which has touched 370 million people in the world in 156 countries. So that is going to help build the intuition in us. And second is the Surya Namaskar. Have you heard about the solar plexus? What is a solar plexus? Anybody here? Would you know about it? So the solar plexus is there in our navel region. We spoke about gut, right? Gut feeling. What is gut? Gut is in the stomach region. Something here tells you, navel region, something is there which tells you that this I should do, this I should not do. That is the gut feeling we say, right? So just above the navel, there is around the navel, there is a point which is called the solar plexus. Solar plexus is in the size of an almond. It is like an almond shape. It is there with all of us. We need not worry, I don't have it. But when we develop our intuition, that same almond shaped solar plexus becomes the size of a palm. It increases in size. It becomes the size of our palm. What does it become? What becomes? Solar plexus, the size of an almond, becomes the size of a palm when we develop the intuitive ability in us, the intuition in us, which tells us what is the right thing to do. So that, Surya Namaskar improves or activates the solar plexus in us. So these habits, if we inculcate in our life, then that is going to bring wonders. It is totally going to bring many, many miracles in our life. And you will be surprised that wow, that wow feeling comes. Have you observed? Some days it may have had come, something gives us a wow feeling. So that is going to help us bring that wow feeling in our life. Okay. So these emotions that we were talking about, greed, fear, and anxiety, which doesn't allow our mind to be in the present, which doesn't allow our mind to take the right decision. All these emotions that we were talking, nervousness, fear, greed, it is the same energy which can be transformed. It is so fascinating that everything is in us. Everything is in us. There is nothing required that, we have to put too much of effort. It is a gift to us. The same energy which is appearing in the form of greed or appearing in the form of fear can be transformed. Do you all want to know how and what is that transformation looks like? So this brings to us the knowledge about the 7 chakras. Have you heard about it? 7 chakras. So I'll share my screen in a moment. Have you seen this? Okay. So what is it? The 7 chakras. See, this brings more and more fascination about our own body. It helps us come out of our limited dimensions and know that we are much more capable of doing than what we are doing now. We are capable to take the right decisions only if we know that the switch or the key is with me. The key is not with somebody else. You have the key to unlock what is locked right now. So the human body has 109 chakras. What are chakras? Chakras are nothing but nerve centers. There are 1,72,000 nerves running in our body. Were you aware about it? I can't see the chat box now because I'm showing this screen. So if you want to talk, you can maybe unmute and share. So there are 109 most important, 109 nerve centers, or in Sanskrit, in the Vedas, it is mentioned as the chakras. So what are those nerve centers? The 1,72,000 nerves that is running in our body, the nadis which is running in our body, they conjoin in certain points, which is called the nerve centers. Out of the 109, there are 7 most important ones, which we are just seeing right now. If you can see the screen, there are 7 most important chakras in our body. The root chakra. Yeah. So we'll start from the bottom one. If you can see the bottom most, it is at the base of your spine. See where you are sitting right now, there is a place which is, intersecting with the floor and where you are sitting, right? That is the root, your spine, the base, the root. That is the Mool Adhar. There is a chakra there. There is a nerve center there, which is called the Mool Adhar. Now, we must know why we are studying this is we must know that the transformation, the key to transformation of energy is with us. Here in Mooladhar, there are two unfavorable emotions, two favorable emotions. I should not say bad or good, so I'm not using good or bad emotions, but something which favors you, something which not is not favorable to you. Yeah. So Mooladhar, which is unfavorable thing, is the inertia, dullness. Whenever there is dullness in our life, or whenever there is too much of inertia, there is lack of that zeal to do anything in our life, know that the Mooladhar chakra has become dormant. This nerve center has become dormant. That is why we are feeling inertia. There are days when you may not want to get up from the bed. I just don't want to do anything. There is total inertia. There's total dullness. Then we know that there is something need to be done here. And the same energy is transformed into the positive side, which is enthusiasm. Somebody, if you have seen, is very enthusiastic to do anything. You give them anything. You have had students, or you have had your colleagues, you give them any task, oh wow, they will just take it. Yeah, I want to do that, because they are enthusiastic. So the same energy which was giving inertia and dullness in the favorable side has brought enthusiasm. Yes. Then we move a little bit, few inches upward. It is behind the genitals. This is called the Swadhisthana chakra. What is the Swadhisthana chakra? Again, it has both favorable and unfavorable emotions. It is right behind the genitals. What are the favorable emotions? It brings either creativity or procreativity. When somebody is very creative, they love doing creation. They create something out of very mundane things. They are very creative. Then you know that the Swadhisthana chakra is activated. And when there is too much of lustful feeling, yeah, then that is again draining the energy. What we need to do, we know that the same energy can be transformed into creativity. Nothing is good or bad, but we must be aware that the same energy which is making me do something like this, that energy can be transformed to do something which is more favorable to me, which is bringing more benefits and positivity to me. So that is about the Swadhisthana chakra. Now if we move up, that is it is around the navel. Yeah, the navel center, it is called the Manipura chakra. Again, another nerve center is here at the navel, which is what we were just talking about, the solar plexus, right? So this is another center. So here we have feelings like greed, jealousy. Have you had this? All must have had this. Whenever we are jealous, if we are not aware, then we will not know. When we are aware, we will know. Whenever we have a feeling of jealousy or greed, there is something happening in the stomach. You feel that the stomach is grinding. It is just grinding. So greed and jealousy, it expresses itself through the Manipura chakra, and that same energy can be transformed into joy and generosity. Have you seen laughing Buddha? Why does it have a big belly? It is said it is a sign of generosity that also manifests in the navel center. We go a little up, that is in the chest region. The chest region, it is called the Anahata chakra, the heart chakra. Okay, just in the region of the chest. What happens here? Love, hatred. These are the emotion, or fear. Love, hatred, fear. They all manifest in the heart chakra. Then we go a little up, that is the Vishuddhi chakra, the throat. Here, if you see, there is, when you feel grateful, then your throat chokes. When you are sad, have you observed when you are sad and there's grief, then also the throat chokes, because there is a nerve center in the throat that is called the Vishuddhi chakra. The same energy can bring us grief, same energy can bring us gratitude. Then when we go up, it is in between the eyebrows. It is called the Agya, or the third eye. I'm sure you might have heard about it, right? Agya chakra, which is in between the eyebrows, or the third eye. This manifests in two different energies. One is, it gives you alertness, intuitive ability comes, alertness comes. Then the same energy can also become as anger. Whenever we are angry, I am sure you must have had this experience, something here in the body, this region, it will constrict, you will feel very tight here, or something here is moving here. So that is the place where the Agya chakra is there. Then when we move up, this is above few inches, just above the head, it is in the subtle level. Yeah. So what is that? That is the Sahasrara chakra, is the seventh most important one, which is doesn't have any unfavorable emotions or feeling. It is pure bliss. So when that one nerve, a string of one nerve cell, it reaches here, that's one string, if it, that energy goes upward and reaches here, then it is complete bliss. Yes. So that was about our chakras. Okay. So now we know that the key to transform our emotions, which is not doing good to us, into something which is favorable to us is what? Is through by being aware about this. Another tip for a good decision making is that know that, remember, this is very, very nice. It can save you, it can help you in any situation. Something which is giving you long term happiness and short term problems, it is okay, go for it, it is right. Something which is giving you short term happiness but long term problems, then not a right thing to pursue. Yes? So just reflect upon it, then you will be able to understand more on this. Something which is giving you long-term happiness but short-term problems is right. Yes? So because we have short-term problems to face, often we don't want to go through it. So we say, okay, let's take a easier route. Why to take a easier route? Take challenges in life. Have you seen people, they want to climb the Mount Everest, they want to do some adventure sports? Why? Because they love challenges. It is okay, life is thrill, life is full of thrill and enthusiasm if we take challenges in our life. So it's okay to take such decisions which initially may seem little problematic, but it is going to bring long-term happiness. Okay. So before we, today we are going to go through some very, very nice techniques. I'm like very excited to share with you all. Yeah. So before that, I will tell you about the vagus nerve. Have you heard about the vagus nerve? Anyone is aware about the vagus nerve? Okay. So what we will do, I'll first show you this video, then we will talk a little bit and get set into our practical experiences. Okay, very interesting. Vagus nerve is so interesting. So can you see my screen and hear?
The Orient has science has acknowledged a mind-body connect as early as 1872. The Orient has had the knowledge of this important connect for thousands of years and has succeeded in developing some powerful techniques to help modulate the mind through the body and vice versa. The human body is a miracle in action. The human nervous system is made of more than 100 billion nerve cells. The nervous system relays information from the brain to the body and back. One of the most important command central for bidirectional communication between the brain and body is the vagus nerve. A nerve probably 99% of the population never heard of nor have a clue of its location. So, what is the vagus nerve? Vega in Latin means to wander. This nerve wanders around the body, impacting major organs. This being the longest cranial nerve, it controls all involuntary body processes such as breathing, speech, swallowing, heartbeat, blood pressure, hearing, taste, circulation, digestion, and gut health. It also controls bladder movement, orgasms, and fertility. A healthy vagus nerve allows us to access the parts of the brain responsible for creativity, higher cognition, and complex decision making. In the absence of a healthy vagus nerve, we only end up having access to parts of our brain that control primal instincts like fear and fight or flight response. Hence, a healthy vagus nerve is essential for leadership and decision making. The functioning of the vagus nerve can be impaired by stress, anxiety, poor lifestyle, smoking, drinking alcohol, and overworking, lack of exercise, proper nutrition, and sleep. When the vagus nerve is not able to perform to the best of its ability, the body and mind become susceptible to a range of diseases like depression, anxiety, obesity, cardiovascular disorders, hypertension, diabetes, digestive disorders, chronic inflammation, kidney malfunction, infertility, and even Parkinson's. Doctors have started stimulating the vagus nerve with electric impulses from a device that increases its activity to help with diseases like depression. However, there are natural ways to stimulate the vagus nerve as well, such as breathing, pranayama, and meditation, exercise, yoga, omega 3 and probiotic rich diet, singing and chanting, splashing cold water, laughing, hugging, massages. One of the most effective ways of vagus nerve stimulation is through breath. A powerful breathing technique that has positively impacted millions of people around the world is the Sudarshan Kriya Yoga, taught by the Art of Living Foundation. When one undergoes Sudarshan Kriya Yoga, their breathing and heart rate slows down. The vagus nerve then gathers a signal from multiple organs from the body, notes that things must be calm and restful. It then passes on this message to the brain, which 9 times out of 10 will listen and then allow us to relax, rest, and digest. Regular practice of Sudarshan Kriya activates the vagus nerve and has shown to have relieved depression in over 67% of the study's participants, decreased the release of the stress hormone cortisol by 56%, and reduced anxiety in 71% of people. It improves deep sleep and hormones that contribute to well being. Due to the activation of the vagus nerve, one experiences tremendous benefits after Sudarshan Kriya Yoga, like stress resilience, improved immunity, happiness, creativity, stronger relationships, and ability to handle situations. The vagus nerve remains one of the most well kept secrets of the human body. Love and empathy, a sense of connectedness, intuition, and mental and physical well being all become integral parts of life when you keep the vagus nerve nurtured and activated.
Yes, interesting to know about the vagus nerve. Okay, so what we will do is we are going to get into some practical techniques. This techniques is very simple. Wherever you are, whatever situation you are, you can do this. And This has helped me personally and has helped so many people. They may not have told you that they're doing all this, but if you talk to them, then you will understand. Talk to people who are into breathing, meditation, who know these tips and smart ways to declutter the mind. They will always tell you, yes, these are very ancient techniques, very scientific in nature. All that we are doing, I may not be going into too much science of it, but definitely there is a research backed behind this technique. Okay, so what we are going to do, the first thing, see, it is good to do together. If I will do, only I will benefit. Okay, if we all will do, then we all will benefit. Are you ready to do it? Simple things. Okay, so if you are sitting, sit. If you are standing, stand. Now what we are going to do is, this will help declutter the mind. So we are going to do something which is called the technique. Yes, this sound of technique. What we will do is, we are going to take a deep breath in and lift the hands up. You can do this standing, you can do this sitting also, however you are comfortable, but do it along. Then you can share that, okay, you felt that difference. Yes. So take a long deep breath in with the eyes closed, and we are going to lift the hands up. So one round you can see, and then we'll do it together. Breathe in deep, take the hands up, and breathe out with making the sound. Deep long breath in, and just let go of the hands with the breath out and making the sound. So let's do it together. If you haven't done right now, let's do it together. Eyes closed. Breathe in long and deep. Make a fist with the hands and lift the hands up. And breathe out, making the sound. And relax. Relax, keeping the eyes closed, palms open to the sky. Let the body be still. Just observe the state of your mind right now. Deep breath in and breathe out. Another deep breath in and breathe out. Slowly and gently, if you have closed the eyes, you may open it. This is a technique which is really powerful in overcoming some of the emotions that doesn't let you be still, that doesn't allow you to bring clarity in the mind. Whenever there is fear, whenever there is nervousness, you are going to present or you are going to talk in front of somebody, a lot of people, they're going to listen to you and you are going to share something important, but your mind is here and there and everywhere, then others do not perceive what you want to convey. So this technique, just before entering into that state, you can do this technique. You can do it in your room, and you can go into the washroom and do it. You can do it anywhere, and then you can start into the activity. So right now, if you are feeling certain calmness, you can share in the chat box what you are feeling. Not feeling also, share that. I didn't feel anything. So share something. Okay. So that was the technique. Then is another technique which is called the source voice walk. Source voice technique. Yes. What is the source voice? See, when our voice comes just from the throat, it may not create that impact on the people. What you want to really express, it is not exactly being perceived that way by the people. And definitely when you have certain thing to deliver, you really want that to be impactful, right? Of course, you have invested time and your effort. You want that to be very impactful. See, these are certain tips we can apply anywhere in our life, whatever field we are. This is going to be applicable. So what is it? And it's also very, if some of you are singers here, then it is also going to be very, very useful for you. And even if you are not a singer, like I am not a singer, but it is still very useful to me, because when we do the source voice technique, the voice comes from the navel rather than the throat. And this makes a lot of impact. Nobody will be able to say no or deny to you. Yes. So what we will do is, for this, we will all have to stand up. And I suggest all of us do it. Otherwise, we'll not be able to experience this wonder which is with us, right? So we'll all stand up. And if you can see, I have stood up. Now I'm on my heel. See the position of the feet. If you see, I have lifted the toes and I am on my heel. Are you seeing this? I am on my heel. Toes are up. So I come on my heel, both the hands, open the palms, fingers pull towards you, and take it, pull it behind your chest region. Take it behind. Fingers pull towards you. You see, if I show you this, fingers pull towards you, just next to the chest. Yes? Pull the hands and the fingers behind you. Now what we have to do, we have to stick the tongue out. Have you seen the picture of goddess Kali? How is Kali Ma's picture looking like? The tongue is stuck out, right? That is very scientific. We may have thought, why is her tongue like this? It's very scientific. So stick the tongue out. You need not worry about being judged or something, because I know your videos are off. So you can just observe, but do it along. The fun is in doing it together. Okay, come on your heels, fingers pull towards you, hands behind the chest, tongue stuck out, and we are going to walk in this position. See, I'm not going too far because I have to be in front of you, but you can go. Stick the tongue out. Walk, walk, walk. Walk around. I'm not going around because I'm here, but you can walk around. And come back. We have not done it for a longer time. You can do it for a longer time when you are at home. So this is, you can relax. This is called the source voice walking. If you observe, this time after we do this and talk, that is definitely going to be more powerful than when we don't do this and do. Okay, so practice it. Just do it for certain days and see. Does it bring a difference to you? Do you notice some difference? Yes. So just do it. And there was some tension at the jaw. Yeah, because we are just starting with it, no? So it activates the glands, the nerves here, when we put that tongue out. It is not just like that. It may seem very funny. People may laugh. It's okay. Yeah. It seems funny, but it is very, very scientific. It activates the nerves around this region. There is something in the stomach that happens. Yeah. So stick the tongue out and open the mouth and do it. And walk on your heels, hands behind, fingers pull towards you. So this is our second technique to declutter the mind. Third is, what we will do is we are going to do something which is called the Trataka meditation. So what we have to do is we will take our right hand out, thumb up. Right hand out, thumb up. Place it in front of you. So you can just see, it is in line with your eyes. See, it is in line with the eyes. Just look at your thumb, elbow straight. Yes, elbow is not bent like this, straight. Thumb, look at the thumb. Thumb is in line with the eyes. Take deep breaths in and out. Now slowly we will move the right hand. Just keep looking at the thumb. Your eyesight is fixed at the thumb and we will take it to the right without moving the neck. See, the neck is not moving. Your eyesight is just moving. Just your eyesight. Just your eyesight is moving and you are taking the hand to your right side. You are constantly gazing at your own right thumb. Neck is not moving, just the eyesight has moved towards the right. Keep breathing in and out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. And when there is pain in the eyes, stop there, okay? Because we are not used to it, so it may happen that you may feel little uneasiness. So we can just stop there and gradually breathing in and out, you can bring the right hand back to the starting position. Keep gazing at your thumb. Your eyesight is fixed only at the thumb. Nowhere else you are right now interested in. Your interest is totally on looking at the thumb. Keep breathing in and out. And slowly place the right hand back on the knee, palm facing the sky, and relax. We will repeat it on the left hand. Elbow straight, left hand straight. Pull the finger up. It is in line with the eyes. Keep gazing at your left thumb. Deep breath in and breathe out. Deep breath in and breathe out. Slowly looking at the left thumb, move your hand towards the left side. Neck is not moving, just the eyesight turning to the left side. Hand is very gradually moving to the left. Look at the eyeballs. They are moving towards the left side. Deep breaths in and out. Deep breaths in and out. Take it to your left. If the neck is moving, bring it back to the center. Only the eyesight. Just the eyeballs. And if you feel there's some strain in the eyes coming out, then relax there. Relax. And slowly bring your hand back to the center. Keep gazing at your left thumb. Keep gazing. Gaze, gaze. All you can see right now is the left thumb. Now once again back to the center and relax the hands, close the eyes, palms facing the sky. Let the eyes be closed. Couple of deep breaths. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. And relax and open your eyes. So now, this is the Trataka meditation which we did, it will bring your focus. Suppose you have an important job to do, but your focus is not there, then do this. The focus will come back what you have to do. We are going to learn another very interesting pranayama, which is called the concentration pranayama. Very, very useful for students who want concentration on their studies. Very useful. Yeah, so what we will do is, yes, correct. Yeah. So there is another concentration pranayama which we will do. So what we are going to do is keep your palms out. Palm out, little bit turned towards each other. We're going to take a deep breath in and breathe out. Gradually, very slowly, your eyes are open. Your eyes will be closed, but right now, because I'm showing you, open your eyes. After that, we'll close our eyes. So the palms will move towards each other. Very gradually, it will move. I'm doing a little bit more faster because we are demonstrating. It is coming towards each other. This is in front of the chest or just near the face. Now imagine there is a ball of energy, like a ball of energy which is between the palms. So let that ball be there. Now we will breathe in and breathe out into this space. Breathe in and breathe out into the space, and like a ball of energy, there is a formation of a ball of energy in between the palms. Now, after few breaths, we will take the left palm back on the knee, the palm is facing upward. The right hand is still there. Breathing in, we will take the hand up in between the eyebrows. Breathing out, we will bring the hand down to the region of the chest. Breathing in slowly up. Breathing out slowly down. In, up, out, down. So this is going to happen gradually. Okay. So we will all do it together. Got it? So we will do with our eyes closed. Yes. So let's open the palms. Keep the palms in front of like near the chest region or the shoulders. Close your eyes. Deep breath in and out. Very slowly start bringing the palms towards each other. Palms are facing each other and coming close to each other. Very slow. We will not be in a hurry. Bring it slowly. Breathe in deep. Breathe out deep. Bring the palms towards each other. They are coming closer and closer and closer. Now they are in front of you. There is a ball of energy between the palms. Like you are holding a ball of energy. Deep breath in and out into the ball of energy, the space between the palms. Breathe in and breathe out into the space between the palm. Now, slowly keep the left hand back on your knee, palm facing upward, and the right hand comes down to the level of your chest. Taking a breath in, very slowly we will move the hand up, bring it in between the eyebrows. Breathing out, we will bring the hand down and bring it close to the chest. Breathe in, hand up in between the eyebrows. Breathe out, hand comes down. Bring it close to the chest. One more time we will do. Breathe in. And slowly breathing out, bring the hand down in front of the chest. And gradually we will relax the hand. Palm facing upward. Relax your hand. Eyes closed. Become aware of the state of your mind right now. With a smile, take a breath in. And breathe out with a smile. And very slowly, you may open your eyes. Good. So, whichever book you have to study, keep it in front of you and do this concentration pranayama. Immediately after you open your eyes, open the book and start studying. It is going to be wonderful. You will learn something much faster than what we used to take a lot of time. Okay? So now we will do the Nadi Shodhan Pranayam. We just heard there are 100 and billion nerve cells in our body, right? 1,72,000 nerves. Do you know what it is occupied with mostly? Most of the days it is occupied with stress. Sad, right? It is such a beautiful gift to us. They are there to help us, but what do we stuff them with? Stress, negative emotions. Yes? So there is a wonderful thing to clear that passage of the nerve cells so that energy can flow easily throughout your body. It can make you vibrant in no time. Bring such clarity of mind, removes the toxins from the body. It is called the Nadi Shodhan Pranayam. Yes? So what we have to do is we have to keep the left hand in Chin Mudra. Yesterday, you remember we did this? Tip of the thumb and index finger tip are joining each other. Other fingers are together. Now turn it upward and place it on your left knee. This is the Chin Mudra. Now the right hand, middle and index finger, we will place it in between the eyebrows. And keep our back straight. Keep the back straight, spine straight. Even if you are sitting on a chair, see that we are not, leaning on the chair. Sit straight. Even if it is a nice, comfortable sofa, keep your back straight. The right hand, middle and index finger, keep it in between the eyebrows. Now breathe in through the left nostril. See, how will you breathe from the left nostril? By closing the thumb on the right side. Yeah, thumb is on the right nostril, so you can breathe in through the left. Long and deep. Now hold the left nostril and breathe out through the right. Now breathe in through the right. Hold the right through the thumb. Breathe out through the left. So this is the alternate nostril breathing. We will do it couple of minutes and with our eyes closed and a smile on our face. Eyes closed, smile on the face. The very powerful Nadi Shodhan, the alternate nostril breathing. Let's start. Breathe in from the left nostril. Long and deep breath in through the left. Hold the left nostril. Breathe out through the right. Long, slow breath out. Now hold the right nostril. Now breathe in through the right. Hold the right nostril and breathe out through the left. Breathe in through the left. Hold the left nostril. Breathe out through the right. Breathe in through the right. Hold the right nostril. Breathe out through the left. Breathe in through the left. Hold the left nostril. Breathe out through the right. Breathe in through the right. Hold the right nostril. Breathe out through the left. And slowly you may relax your hands. Relax the palms. Open the palms to the sky and relax with the eyes closed. Just observe your state of mind. With a smile, take a breath in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. And slowly you may open your eyes. So feeling good? So now the last segment is we are going to do a wonderful meditation. It is there to help us bring clarity in our mind. Yes? So meditation is a very powerful tool. We just have to do it with the innocence of a child. It is not to apply any logic. Relax. This is the time you rest your brain. That which is active all this time, relax through the meditation. So this meditation that we will play is both in English and Hindi. What you have to do, just close your eyes, spine straight, palms open to the sky on your knees. Simply listen to the instructions, go by what is being said, and do not apply too much of logic. Just relax. This is to help you relax. So all are feeling ready to meditate? So sit comfortably and easily. Sit nicely, comfortably. Ready, everyone? Okay, so I'll present it. With our eyes closed, this is going to be a wonderful experience. Eyes closed, spine straight.
There are five elements. The first is earth element. Earth is grosser than water. Earth element stays in a place, water flows, fire element radiates, and air is all over permeating, and space is in which everything is. These five elements are the basis of our, that's why it's called Prapancha. Pancha is the five. The whole universe is made up of this combination of these five elements. But there is a sixth element, that is mind. Mind is subtler than space. Mind, intellect, memory, and ego. These are four functions of mind. So now, mind being subtler than air, mind can also spread. Mind spreads. Attention spreads. And mind or attention is nothing but your bioenergy. And the energy radiates, spreads. So let us sit comfortably, easily. First, let us start shaking our hands. And gently close your eyes and stop shaking. And keep your spine erect. रीढ़ की हड्डी सीधा रखें, शरीर को ढीला छोड़ दो। Our eyes are closed, our body is still. Let's take a deep breath in. Hold the breath and breathe out through the mouth. Breathe in once again, hold the breath and breathe out through the mouth. One last time, let's breathe in, hold the breath, breathe out through the mouth and relax our shoulders. Listen to all the sound in the environment. Bird chirping or traffic noise, sound of the fan or air conditioner, whatever sound you are surrounded with, listen to them. Let's take another deep breath in and breathe out slowly. Let's take our attention from the environment to our own body. Become aware of your body. Become aware of the weight of your body. Whatever it is, 70 kilos, 80 kilos. We came into this planet weighing just 4 kilos or 5 kilos. And today we weigh 60, 70, 80 kilos. All this weight has come to us from the food, from the environment, from the earth. Virtually our body belongs to this earth. Let us honor our own body. It's the most precious gift we have ever received. Let's take our attention to our legs, our feet and legs. Both knees and thighs, buttocks, hips. Take your attention through all the internal organs in the thorax region. Your bladder, kidney, liver, stomach, pancreas. What a great design this body is made up of. The diaphragm, lungs, our heart, throat, shoulders, and relax your whole body. Let go of any tension anywhere in the body. Just the command, relax, just stop relaxing. And your throat, face, head, the whole body. Now let's move to the second dimension, the breath. It's the breath that is keeping our body alive. Incoming breath energizes the body while outgoing breath brings relaxation. Let us become familiar with this phenomenon. Let's take 10 long, deep breaths with total attention on them. Welcome each breath like you would do to a dear friend and see off every breath as you would do to an honored guest. Let's take 10 long, deep breaths consciously. You may feel some restlessness, some uneasiness in the body. Never mind, they are there to go. Breathe it. They're coming up to go. So let them go. Breathe in and breathe out consciously, honoring each breath. Observe the volume and temperature of the breath. They are proportionate to the disturbance in the mind. A breath becomes even and smooth when the mind is calm and serene. Now let's move on to the third dimension, the mind. Our body is like the wick of a candle, mind is like the glow all around it. In fact, our body is inside the mind. Just become aware of 1 foot of space all around you. शरीर के चारों ओर 1 फुट दूरी तक की जगह को स्मरण करें. Every cell of our body is radiating energy in all directions. subtle energies communicating with the walls as well. हमारे शरीर में तरंग है, तरंग दीवार को छू रही है. The vibrations emitted from your body is touching the walls and the ceiling. And it is you, it's part of you. Let go of all your efforts. Even the instructions that's being given now, you need not listen to intently. Just take them lightly and relax. Now, whatever thoughts are coming in the mind, just let them come. Good thoughts, bad thoughts. Let them all come. Do not resist any thought. Wherever the mind wants to go, let it go. Let the mind go in all directions. There is neither concentration nor control. Simply let go. And let things be the way they are. Any tension, discomfort anywhere in the body, just let it be. Not to try to get rid of it is the secret. Let things be now as though everything is frozen. As though the time has frozen. Repose in yourself. Let go of all your efforts. Let's take our attention to the top of the head and become aware of the empty space above the head, up to the ceiling of the room you are sitting. Let go of all your efforts. This moment there is nothing to do and nothing to know either. As the body relaxes and is still, the mind expands. And vice versa, as the mind expands, body finds relaxation. Let it be. Let's take a few deep rhythmic breaths. Like the waves in an ocean. Breathe in and let go. Breathe in and let go. Breathe in and let go. Let go of all your efforts. ना कुछ करना है ना ही कुछ जानना है, केवल विश्राम करें. मुस्कान के साथ विश्राम, यही है ध्यान. अपने आप में विश्राम करें, सभी परिश्रम छोड़ दें. Few long deep breaths to calm and cool our breath. As the mind becomes calmer, breath becomes longer and cooler. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Slowly and gradually, let us become aware of our body and surroundings. And let's take a few long, deep breaths. Attention on our breath. Let's pay attention to our breath. And slowly and gradually, you may open your eyes.
So here's a question for you all. What is the main difference between...
So if you have closed the eyes, you may slowly open them. So how are you feeling right now? Any experiences you want to share? How's the state of mind? Has it become more calmer and quieter? Less of thoughts? Okay. So any questions that you have? We are at the end of the session. Anything that you wanted to ask? We have been here for 3 days. I really enjoyed this time with you all. It was so enlightening, so lovely to share what has made a difference in my life. So thank you all for being here. Anything that you want to share, you want to ask?
Ma'am, may I?
Yes.
Ma'am, let me tell you the days you had sessions on, we really practiced not only theory, but we practiced it and we felt the difference. That is why I have decided that I will practice whatever you have told us, taught us, and surely it will have a deeper impact on our life as well as career. So let me thank you personally on behalf of the participants as well. Let me thank Dr. Aradhana ma'am also because she invited you. Yeah, you are really a legendary person. Let me frankly tell you. Thank you so much. It's a
Thank
different.
you.
It is really a totally different experience. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you. Such wonderful experience you have shared, Anil sir. Thank you very much for being there. So
Thank you.
anybody else wants to share? How has been your experience? What is that one thing out of these 3 days that you thought I will take it back and I'll apply it in my life? And you know what? See, this is the end of the program, definitely. But we can be in touch. It is not the end of this journey. Yeah. So don't worry or don't think about it. We are always there. I will be there in whatever way I can support or help you all whenever you need anything. So I shared my contact yesterday also, but now also I'll share it. So please take a note of it. So this is my contact. So let's stay in touch. I would love to hear from all of you. How are you all doing in your life? How can I be of any help to you? Yes, Sanjeev ji, I just shared above in the chat box. Okay, so find little time for yourself. I know it is such a busy life, very hectic schedules. You have a lot of responsibilities to do. There is so much things on top of your head to do. In spite of all that, find some time for yourself. Just 15-20 minutes a day doing any of this that we did, and Sudarshan Kriya, when you learn it later, just practice it. It is going to bring a huge difference. Meditation, it is going to bring immense difference in life. Okay, so is Aradhana ma'am here, or she's not here now?
Yeah, I'm here.
Aradhana ma'am.
It's nice to listen to your session. So there has been nice compliments from the participants too. I was just going through that also. They have shared their experience of listening to you over the past 3 days. And I think it's really great to receive such compliments from the participants. And also thank you so much for giving us your valuable time. You have shared a vast uh, domain. You have touched over so many topics, so many things you have shared with us, so much of knowledge you have given to the participants, such holistic ways of improving our life. And I think they'll be inspired. They will take forward with this teachings, and also try to learn more in the near future. So I do hope that the participants have benefited from the 3 yoga and meditation centric sessions that had been planned in this faculty development program to give a practical touch, to give a holistic touch to this entire program. So I hope the participants have benefited through the wonderful teachings of Ms. Swati Tripathi. She has given a dedicated time and session, and I always love her to invite her to the sessions because she's so much dedicated to her work and she does wonderful sessions with us. I thank you so much very heartily on behalf of all the participants and also on behalf of the organizing committee of this Atal FDP in the Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering, Guwahati University. Thank you so much. And with that, I would like to wrap up this session of this faculty development program. Thank you once again, Swati.
So I want to be expressing, don't want to miss this chance to express my gratitude. And you know that very well, that something which is so close to my heart and enjoy sharing, you give that opportunity. I think this is the second time that we are spending time in a year together. So I really feel so grateful for having known you and meeting all our beautiful participants here as well. Thank you so much again to the whole team, all the people who are in the background as well, helping this to run this smoothly. Hirak sir, I know you all are doing such hard work. So congratulations to you all and thank you so much.
Thank you so much. So dear participants, this is the end of the first session of the last day of faculty development program.